Failed credit cards are a nightmare, my friends. After you do a successful Kickstarter or an Indiegogo campaign, you think that's sort of all there is. You think that you hit that high pillar of success. There's actually some other problems that come into the fray here. So anytime you're transferring a large amount of money online, that's exactly what Kickstarter is. You know, you raise, let's just say $50,000 or $100,000. You have a successful campaign, and also congratulations about that if you are able to successfully raise money on Kickstarter or Indiegogo. So let's just say that's, you know, $50,000, $100,000, and you basically raise that amount of money. Then everyone who supported your campaign, whether that's 500 backers or 1,000 backers, their credit cards are going to be charged, and that money is going to be deposited into your bank account. Here's where the problem comes into play. So after you do that successful campaign, it looks successful on the outset. What you don't see behind the scenes happening is that when everyone's cards are charged, anywhere from 1 to 5% of the cards out there that are charged are not going to be successfully charged. You know, this could happen for like a variety of reasons. It could be related to the expiration date on their card. It could be their bank denied the transaction. Maybe they thought it was fraudulent or something. It could be the payment processor Stripe, the payment processor that Kickstarter uses, could also consider it to be fraudulent for some kind of reason. So there are a lot of different reasons. It could also just be honestly that the person had maxed out their card and needs to put in a different one. For whatever reason, these cards are not successfully charged. So if you do a $50,000 campaign here, you successfully raise $50,000, that could end up costing you $2,500 in failed pledges. That might mean that amount of money could impact your profit margin, or you might actually have to go out there, you might have to borrow extra money in order to then fulfill the initial production run of your product. If you end up raising $100,000, that could end up costing you $5,000, and that's an additional added expense, if you will, that you didn't really plan for, or that you didn't anticipate. You thought you were going to be able to recoup all of the pledges, all the people who have backed your project, but in reality, you're missing $5,000 at the end of the day, and that can lead to a lot of headaches. That can cause you to have to borrow money or find financing in other places, and no one wants to do that. Now that you're aware of this problem, let's talk about how Kickstarter tries to solve this problem. So you sort of look at the time span of a campaign on Kickstarter. So at this point in time, this campaign is successfully funded. So you have success here. You end up raising whatever amount you're doing, and then basically in 2 weeks' time, you're going to get the money that Kickstarter has promised you and that they've collected from their backers. Now, these failed credit cards between 1 to 5% are going to happen here. Basically, people are gonna get an email from Kickstarter and they're gonna say, hey, we noticed that your credit card payment did not go through. We'd love it if you could update your information so that way we can process your pledge. The creator can be supported and everyone is happy. They will send out this message every 48 hours. So every 48 hours, basically, they're sending out this message up until 1 week. And after 1 week, basically Kickstarter says, okay, we've badgered these people enough. Unfortunately, we're not able to get recoup this payment. So every 48 hours, they're sending out a reminder to your pledgers or your backers. Maybe people aren't being responsive to these emails. Maybe it just gets lost in the fray. So a lot of the times creators will take other steps. There are a number of different ways that creators will try to solve this problem. They could do stuff like you could reach out directly to the actual backer. You can send them a message and say, hey, notice your credit card was failed for whatever reason. It'd mean so much to me if you could update that information. You could also reach out and say, hey, it's okay for whatever reason. Maybe you don't want to give money on Kickstarter, or you don't want to give money on Indiegogo. We can send you a link where you can actually submit this via PayPal or another payment processor if that's the issue. But the problem with this is it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy, and it takes it's almost like a full-time job, honestly, direct messaging all of these people. This is a gigantic headache. No one wants to have to send messages. No one wants to have to deal with this potential loss of money. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy. It just really takes a lot of focus off the ball when you should be just using the money in order to fulfill the rewards and getting those rewards out there as quickly as possible to your backers. I want to share with you a tool that is going to make this completely simple. It's going to make the process so much more seamless, and that way you don't even have to think about processing these failed credit card payments. They're going to handle that for you. This tool is incredibly efficient and effective. It actually helps you with a lot of other things when it comes to your Kickstarter or your Indiegogo campaign. So I think you're going to like this. This tool is called BackerKit. BackerKit, and they've been around for a long time. They've helped more than 5,000 creators do surveys, help them with the actual reward fulfillment process. They're also a sponsor of my podcast and they're a sponsor of this YouTube video. So they've been around the block a long time. They know how to deal with these problems, and they've created a process that will actually streamline all of this. The first thing that I like about BackerKit is that they do surveys. And surveys, you know, Kickstarter does surveys, but they're really not that great. You know, with BackerKit, you actually get an itemized list of all of your orders. You get all the accurate information. And this is really when it comes into process with the failed credit card payments, because as you know, Kickstarter stops basically collecting these after 1 week. That's the first like window of opportunity that you have to collect these failed credit card payments. After 2 weeks in time, you're actually gonna get the funds that you can go out there and then use to fulfill your rewards. I would recommend sending out your BackerKit surveys 2 weeks after your campaign. And the reason here is that after 2 weeks, that campaign is still fresh in the memory of the backers. And in addition, this is another opportunity for them to make good on the pledge and to put in their credit card information, other information, so you can actually claim one of these rewards. The other really cool thing about BackerKit, and I actually really like this a lot because, you know, like I'm a sales guy, I love marketing, all that kind of stuff, is they do add-ons. So add-ons are basically upsells, or they're things you can add on to the ordinary product that you're selling in order to increase the value that you're giving the customer. So putting that really simply, I would say, like, if you're selling a handbag or if you're selling a backpack or something like that, maybe as an add-on, you're also going to sell a water bottle or something like that. You're going to sell a blanket or something small that's going to increase the overall order value that isn't a tremendous cost to you, maybe something you've already created, quite frankly. BackerKit makes add-ons really, really simple. The other thing I like about them is they do pre-orders. So pre-orders, basically, if you don't want to go into Indiegogo in demand and continue to raise money that way, you can use BackerKit's pre-order functionality in order to continue to collect pre-orders and pledges so that you keep upping that amount of money that you've raised from your crowdfunding campaign. The final thing that I like about BackerKit, and this was a huge headache in the early days, is that finally there are no more spreadsheets. Oh my gosh. So like in the early days, you'd have to actually break out the Excel spreadsheet. You have to gather all the data from your backers. Finally, there are no more spreadsheets. There's a really easy way to do surveys. You can also increase the pledges. You can get pre-orders, and you can send all of this information, an itemized list of orders. You can either deliver that to your fulfillment partner, or if you're doing fulfillment yourself, it just makes the process a lot easier. So if you're worried about failed credit cards, you're also worried about the whole fulfillment stage of this campaign. You don't want to deal with lots of spreadsheets and headache. You just kind of want to make this a lot easier on you, because you're going to be spending your time doing, you know, customer management, actually going out there and creating these products and figuring out the logistics and the supply chain. Like if you don't want to actually have to worry about another thing, this is a very easy and something that you can get started with, quite frankly, in like 10 minutes or even 5 minutes, I'd say. So I'm going to include a link down below where you can learn more about BackerKit. I also would love to hear from you. What are some of the other problems that you are running into that you're thinking about as you're gearing up to the launch of this upcoming crowdfunding campaign? I hope you liked this video. Again, my name is Sal, and I will see you next time.